The North America Math Contest Go Go Go. Today we are going to talk about the next lesson, which is on inverse function. So, let's first define as the inverse function. Inverse function is a function where it changes from input x output y to input y output x. It is denoted as f negative x. So as you can see, it is very confusing, right? Yeah, you may feel that it's very confusing. So I'm going to give you an example. The example is that, let's say we have a equation. So first one is fx minus 2x1. The second one is gx. It is equal to this. Those two are inverse function. Why? Let's first give out some values for fx. For the original fx, if you plug in x is equal to 1, y will be 2 times 1 minus 1, so it's 1. If you plug in x is equal to 2, y will become 2 times 2 minus 1. It is going to be 3. If you plug in 3, then the value y will become 3 times 2 minus 1, which is going to be 5. If you plug in 4, then the new equation is going to be 2 times 4 minus 1, then it's going to be 7. If you plug in 5, then the new equation is going to be 2 times 5 minus 1, which is 9. Same thing, you plug in the different values of x and you will find the set of value of y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And then as you can see, fx, it has a value 1, 1. So that it was reversed in the another one, gx, it becomes 1, 1. Similarly, 2, 3 in fx is reversed, 3, 2. 3, 5 fx is reversed, 5, 3. 4, 7 is reversed, 7, 4. 5, 9 is reversed, 9, 5. So which we know that xy in front of the left are reversed by the xy on the right of fx. So that's why I say like it is in the above part, it is input x, output y, output x. Please note that that of inverse function that can only work if an original function is a one-to-one function. So basically, first, for every x value, there's at most one y value that is attached to the x value. The second thing is that every y value should at most have one x value attached to it. That's the more important key part. So, if an inverse function is not a one-to-one function, we will be expected to get a result that is not a function. There are multiple ways to find out the inverse function. I mean, not the ways, I mean the steps. So this means that to find the inverse, you need to follow those steps. So the first thing, you need to verify that fy is equal to fx is a one-to-one function, which is what I defined above, which is that for every x value, there's most one y value attached to the x value. For every y value, there's at most one value attached to the x value. The second thing that what you need to do is that you need to replace fx with y. So example, if originally it was fx is equal to x plus 3, then you need to change it into y is equal to x plus 3. And then you interchange x and y. So for example, if it is originally y is equal to x plus 3, what you need to do is that to change it into x is equal to y plus 3. Fourth thing, you need to solve the new equations in terms of y. And then it's replaced with y with f negative 1x, and then it's completed. So let's first give you an example, right? So first thing, we know that this equation is one-to-one because if you draw it, it will be something like a line, right? A curve, a line, a straight line. I mean a line with some angles. If you draw this function, it will be something like a line with some function, I mean an angle. So therefore, it's impossible for a y to have multiple x. So therefore, this one is a one-to-one function. And then what you do is that to change, like you change fx into y. So example, it changes from fx is equal to 2x minus 1 into y is equal to 2x minus 1. And then what you do is that you switch x and y, so that become x is equal to 2y minus 1. And then what you do is that you change it into, like you split y out. So to split y out means that you represent in y is equal to something. And then, what we do is that we first isolate x and y into two sides, and then y becomes this value. The third thing is that the next question that I want you to do is find the inverse of this equation. I'm going to give you 1 minute to think about it. The most important hint is that since it is not a one-to-one function, we will not expect the final result to be a function. So the final result will not be a function. Okay, so 1 minute is off. Let's now look at the problem. So we know this is not a one-to-one function. You may be confused, but I'm going to show you why. Two values, -1, 3, and 1, 3. So, which means two x values have a y value. Right? So this is not right, not a one-to-one function. So we first just switch x and y directly. It becomes x is equal to y squared. Switch x and y directly. What we do next is that we isolate x and y, so that x and y are two different sides. Okay, so after that, we just like square root both sides, and then we obtain this result. Like this result is not a function, which this is not a function. So basically, one thing you need to remember is to always write the restriction. But in this case, you need to write like this. You need to remember, you need to write the restriction, which in this case is x larger than or equal to 2. Restriction needed to write. And I think that's it. Here we come to the end of our lesson, and I hope you have learned a lot. See you next week. Bye bye.